everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today's video we're going to be doing this little set of blueberries and Inktense pencils. So in a previous video we did the chocolate covered strawberry with colored pencils, but we're going to be doing the blueberries today. So if you want to see videos like this in the future, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post, and make sure to give the video a thumbs up because it does help me and it does help others find these videos. Let me know down in the comments below what other sort of videos that you want to see from me, and let's just get right into today's tutorial. Everything will be linked down in the description below, all the supplies I'm using and all that. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm starting off with the stem here, and I'll be using oak as my main color, and I'll be using some leaf green in the shadowed areas under the leaves, and some red oxide and spring green closer to the blueberries because it's a little bit brighter there. Now I have to say these pencils laid down very smoothly on this paper. This is the Paul Rubens hot pressed watercolor paper, and they blended out very nicely as well. The layering was a little bit different to normal watercolor pencils, and I'll explain that when we get to that part. But these pencils are very vibrant, so a little bit goes a long way, whereas with watercolors, sometimes if you want the color to be a little more vibrant, you have to layer up a little bit more. And here I am just blending them out. So I did found with these, even just putting a light layer of color, like the color pigment payoff was really good. And now I'm starting with the leaves, and I'll be using Hooker's Green, Beach Green, Vivid Green, and some Ionian Green. And I really like the pop of color that I got from the Vivid Green, because it's a little bit more of a blue-green, so it really makes the leaves stand out well. And I started off here with the leaves. There's a little line that goes down the center of those. I wasn't going to put it in at first, but I did end up putting it in, so that's what you see me doing first. I'm just sketching that line in with the Inktense pencils, and then I'm going to go in and blend just that part out so that as I'm putting the other colors down and blending them out, I want that line to stay there because that's like the middle part of the leaf, and it's going to tell me how the leaves are turning and rotating. So I'm just following my reference photo, and I'm just looking where the lights and the darks are, and that's where I'm placing these colors. Now with the Inktense colors, there's only 60 pencils in this set, or 60 blocks, whatever set that you have. So I didn't have the exact colors that I would like to have if I had, a set of 120 or 150 colored pencils. But I'm using the colors that closely match what I want, or just the colors that I like. And that's the fun thing about art. You don't have to exactly match everything, but close is good enough. And now you're going to see me blending out the leaves, and I'm just starting with any water-soluble media that I use. I always go from light to dark. And because we've already blended out that middle line there, that's going to stay nice and sharp. And you can just see how just one layer of these colors, they come out very vibrant. And I could have honestly just left it at one layer, but I did decide to go back in and layer up a second layer just because I wanted to see how it would look and how it would perform on the paper and how they would layer over top of each other. So you'll see that coming up in a minute. So I'm going back in with that oak color, and here's the part where I wish I would have just left it out, or I could have just left it out. Really, not that I wish I did, but the color got a lot darker blending it out the second time. So I could have just went in and just did the places that I want it to be the darkest. And you know, art's a learning curve, right? I haven't used these pencils on this paper, and I haven't used these pencils in a long time otherwise. So this is all just sort of me figuring it out as I'm going and explaining to you. But I could have really just gone in to the darkest places and, you know, punched those up a little bit. But they still blended out very nicely over top of each other, and the colors really got vibrant. And I will go over top of this at the end with a little bit. I tried the white Inktense, and then I'll try my white Prismacolor pencil just to bring out some of the brightest lights again. Okay, so I'm just taking my kneaded eraser and lightening some of the graphite pencils down by the blueberries. And for the blueberries, I'll be using Iris Blue, Iron Blue, a little bit of Payne's Gray, and some Charcoal Gray. And I started with the Iris Blue, and I just started putting it into the lightest areas, but you'll see me go back over and I do like a light glaze of it all over the blueberries because I really want that blue to show through even in the darkest areas. And now I'm going in with that Iron Blue, and I'm focusing this into some of the shadow areas. I'm starting to build up those shadows. And again, it's just looking at the reference photo, focusing on your lights and darks. And I'm sort of blending this color out a little bit because this is going to be my mid-tone. So I'm blending it out a little bit further than it needs to be. And I'll be using the Payne's Gray and the Charcoal Gray in the little pit of the blueberry, and also around the edges where, you know, it's really dark in between all the blueberries. So I'll be putting those two colors in there. These blueberries were really fun to do. And if you want to see more little small illustrations like this, please let me know down below what kind of stuff you would like to see, or what other illustrations or medium that you want me to do. Let me know. So I'm starting to blend out here, and again I'm just blending light to dark, and I'm constantly wiping it off on that little paper that I have there, paper towel, because I don't want the dark to get into the light. And you can see how just one layer here, how vibrant these colors are. And I'm just focusing one blueberry at a time. I'm not bothering to let this dry in between because honestly, there's not that much water coming out of the water brush that it's going to leak and spread into one of the other blueberries. But if you're worried about that, you can always skip from one blueberry to the other and sort of let it dry a little bit in between. And once I have all this blended out, I'm going to let it dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back in with my Payne's Gray and Charcoal Gray. And I'm really going to focus these again in those dark shadow places, just so those dark shadows really pop. And I'm not going to blend this out this time. I'm just going to leave it with the pencils. So I'm just going in between those blueberries. I really want those shadows to be dark, and then it's going to make our lights look lighter. So I'm taking the white Inktense pencil, and the only thing I don't like about the white Inktense pencil is it's not as opaque as the Inktense block. So if you have the white block, that's a lot opaquer. But this, I found it was really nice to smooth where the lightest part of the blueberry was. I kind of glazed this over top of it and it made it even brighter. And I was attempting to use this to go around the sides of the blueberries because there is like a little white highlight edge around some of the blueberries, but the Inktense pencil just wasn't bright enough for that. So I did pull in my white Prismacolor pencil, and you're going to see that now. And I just took this around the edges to make those little brightest areas pop. And I just think this pulls the piece together nicely. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. Also, give this video a thumbs up down below because it does help my channel out and it helps people find these videos, and leave a comment of what you'd like to see coming up. Also, if you want to see more tutorials or more videos like this, then click on any of these videos or playlists and that will help you find those. And thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.